If you walked into an NHS analytics interview right now, could you predict what they'll ask? Because if you can't, someone else will. In this episode, I'm revealing 5 real NHS interview questions and the exact strategies that turn your answers into job offers. This isn't theory. It's what actually works in the room when it matters. Let's go. Question 1. Tell us how you've worked with large NHS datasets. Why they ask it. To test real-world NHS experience or research. How to answer. I built pivot dashboards working with hospital episode statistics, HES, to analyze emergency readmissions across trusts. This showed year-on-year trends and cross-referenced it with SUS for tariff validation. It gave clinical leads evidence to redesign discharge protocols. Power tip. Mention scale, datasets, structure, and one clinical, operational impact. Question 2. Can you give an example where your insight led to a change? Why they ask it. NHS panels want to know if your work drives real decisions. How to answer. Using RTT data, I modeled median wait times across departments. One pathway exceeded the 18-week standard by 6 weeks. I presented the insight to a triage board using Power BI. It led to a reallocation of outpatient slots, cutting breach rate by 23%. The operational manager was very satisfied with the results. Power tip. Always include the dataset, the audience, and the change that followed. Question 3. How do you explain complex data to non-technical stakeholders? Why they ask it. They need analysts who can speak in plain English to clinical and operational staff. How to answer. For a project on A&E flow, I used Power BI visualizations to illustrate peak congestion hours. Not with numbers, but with color-coded heat maps and patient flow diagrams from the ED dataset. I compared it to rush hour traffic, so clinical leads could instantly relate. Power tip. Use analogies, visual storytelling, and context the audience already understands. Question 4. What KPIs would you use to monitor A&E performance? Why they ask it. To see if you understand NHS metrics, pressures, and patient flow. How to answer. I would produce a report on PowerPoint with a 4-hour breach rate, ambulance handover delays from ED dataset, time to triage, reattendance within 7 days, and discharge versus admission rates. These give a balanced view of throughput, pressure points, and patient safety. Power tip. Mention why each KPI matters, not just what it is. Question 5. How do you ensure data quality in your work? Why they ask it. NHS decisions rely on robust, clean data. How to answer. I begin with data profiling in Power Query, looking for nulls, duplicates, outliers. I validate against NHS data dictionary definitions. I often run summary checks in SQL and triangulate fields against SUS or RTT extracts. And crucially, I review with clinical teams before publishing. Power tip. Mention validation, dictionary standards, and clinical sign-off. Those are real NHS analytics questions, and real strategies to answer with clarity, context, clinical respect, and confidence. If you want more examples like this, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone preparing for their NHS interview. And remember, your answers don't just show your skills. They show how ready you are to serve the system. Like, subscribe, and join the journey for more insights.